Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel and a Happy New Year. I know I have said this once in yesterday's video, but this is the one when it actually is the New Year. I had made that one a while ago, so I thought I'd actually wish you a live Happy New Year. I just wanted to make this video. It's probably going to be the last one I make sort of live, where it's current. In that everything else I'm doing at the moment is being scheduled ahead, so it'll be a bit out of date by the time you see it. So I'm actually recording this on the Sunday, on the 2nd of January, and just before my op, which is on the 6th. And I just wanted to check in with you guys and just update where we are with, how our Christmas was and what's happening generally. And I thought we'd just have a little chat and do a bit of crafting at the same time. And I wanted to work in my Christmas journal because I've hardly done anything in it since Christmas. I've not really been able to do an awful lot of crafting because for various reasons really. It's been so busy clearing up after Christmas. We're still doing that, and having had some issues with my shoulder and my elbow and my hand on my left side. So I'm trying to pace myself a bit because I don't want to end up with two arms that don't work. As it's the other one that's being operated on, but so of course this one does all the work, and sometimes it suffers because of that. So worked quite hard over Christmas, I think, this arm. So I've had to take it easy a little bit this week, or this past week. But I really wanted to get back into my craft room and do a bit of work in this journal and have a chat with you guys and just generally catch up. So I haven't got very far, as I said. I only got as far as the 11th of December. So I'm just going to finish that page off and see how far we get today. I'm not going to put myself under any pressure to get too much of this done. I can't see I'm going to get this journal finished before I go into hospital, but I'm going to take it as far as I can. And we'll see, maybe I'll get some help from Hannah over January when I'm feeling more up to it, and maybe she'll help me finish it. Right, so this page was all about it's not really Christmas, but it was in December, so it's a bit of a crossover with December Daily and Christmas, I guess, because this is about they wanted to have an engagement lunch, get the two families together, and just spend a bit of time together, having a nice meal and chatting and catching up. We don't get to see George's parents very often, and we get on really well with them. They're lovely people, and I really like them, and I think it was just nice to spend the day with them. So they booked for us all to meet at a pub and have a lunch, and then we all, the two lots of parents went back to Hannah and George's house. There wasn't, Jenny and family went back home, and we just spent the afternoon with them. So I'm just doing a bit of a page on that. So I already made this pocket. It wasn't there originally. I had to make it specially because I couldn't figure out how to get all the pictures on. And it took me absolutely ages to do this label saying engagement lunch, because I was using my peg stamps, those ones that that you've seen me clip together, the blue ones that clip together. But because it was only 1G, I had to do the engagement in two lots, and I just kept messing it up. It was either too close together or they weren't lined up. I don't know how long I took trying to make this. So I thought, thank goodness I didn't do it on camera. But I thought I'd just finish off the rest of the bits that I want to make while I'm getting started on catching up with you. So let's just stick that down. Part of the problem was I didn't really know what to put behind here, and I really love this double belly band. I've never done it before, and I think it looks gorgeous. So I wanted something to go behind it, and I just didn't have anything ready made. I wasn't sure what to use, so I'm going to make something today to pop behind there. But first of all, I've got a card to go in here. So I've got these are one of the kits. This is the Janie B Journals kit that I used a couple of years ago. I had quite a few bits left over from it. So I'm just going to put that in here. So it covers up a bit of the writing. I've already done the writing on the day. And I'm going to put a couple of pictures on the back, a couple of photographs. So yeah, we had an absolutely lovely, lovely Christmas. It was just so good. It was made up so much for last year when we didn't see the family at all, and this year we saw them for days and days and days. It was really great. It was great to have them all here. Jenny and Alyssa came on Thursday on the 23rd. Jenny just couldn't wait to get away from the house. Her house is all being they're doing an extension, and it's a mess. And she hadn't been able to put up anything Christmassy. No, she hadn't got any Christmas decorations up. She hadn't even managed to put a tree up. And Alyssa had gone into nursery and told all the carers that Mummy hadn't put a Christmas tree up, and Jenny felt so bad. She felt, broke her heart that she couldn't do Christmas really, or anything Christmassy for Alyssa, because Alyssa's so aware of it all now. So when they got here, she was really looking forward to coming, bringing her here, and getting into the Christmas spirit, because we had plenty of Christmas decorations up and lots of lights, and I think she just wanted to come somewhere really Christmassy. Okay, so there's just a picture of the two lots of parents. It's me and Rich and George's parents, and that was really nice. So they're just on there. And then, okay, so for here, I thought I'd bring in this is my little magazine that I've been making, doing a bit of collaging in periodically, and I had loads of Christmas collages that I did at the end of last year that I hadn't used yet. So I thought I'd use one of these and make a journal card for the rest of my photos, which I didn't. Originally I was going to put my writing behind here, but I thought actually then I'd have to put another bulky thing here for the photos, so I didn't want to put photos and then cover them up. So I wrote on this side, and I'm now going to do a journal card to go behind the belly band. And I've looked at these, and I think this is the best colour match, or the one that would look best behind there, I hope. So that's this one. There's quite a lot of red in it. So I'm going to, I was thinking I would need to do some sort of focal point, but actually this one comes with a ready-made focal point. So I think what I'm going to do, okay, if I make that, cut it there, make that into a tag, so it's a tag shape. And so how long do I want it? Yeah, I think I'll take it to, oops, oh, clearly some of it needs to be glued back together, but it's not a problem. I'll take it to about there, I think. So then I have a potential pocket, or two pockets there, similarly with the other piece, or I can make it into a belly band. Oh, I could, but I'm thinking more of a tag. And then I just need to work out how wide this needs to be, so it pokes out both sides. So I think it will just go to about there. So I've got the option then of two potential journal cards that I'll see which one looks best in that place. So these two bits can be made into something another time. And I've got two. I've ended up with two the same size, which is, I'm going to have to trim it off a bit at that side if I want to use that one. So I've got this one with this cute little girl in on the front, so she looks already like a focal point, doesn't she? So I'll just pop this one behind and see how that looks, whether she shows up. Not really, but it looks okay there. Or this one. See which one I like the look of best in that situation. So neither of them really, the focal point doesn't really stand out when it's behind the belly band. But I think I'm going to use this one. I like the bit of gold, red and gold, and it picks up this red and gold on here. So like that. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to back it. Now, because it's not going to have a lot of writing on it, I thought I could use this rather nice backing paper. I think this is, I can't remember if this is either a paper from Roxy Creations Red and Green kit, which I think it might be, or it might be TaylorMade Journals wrapping paper, wallpaper. I'm not sure, and I'm not going to worry about it. But I just thought that's one of those two it comes from, I think. So I'm just going to glue it on. What am I going to use? I think I'm going to use this, which has been my glue of choice lately, just to prevent things from curling up as much as they seem to when you use the glue stick. Yeah, so we had so Jenny and Alyssa came on Thursday, and that was really nice because it was a non-Christmas day in a way. it was sort of relaxing. Jenny came and she just sort of slumped in the chair. She looked so tired. She'd had a really busy week because she'd been working up until, you know, the week before, and she just had a couple of days off to basically get Christmas done. So she was shopping and wrapping right till the last minute. And I think she was just absolutely exhausted, really. And I think that's quite normal when you're a mum. I remember being totally exhausted before I ever got to Christmas. So it's kind of what happens around Christmas. You're trying to, keep on top of work and get the house. She's living in a tip. It's at the moment with all there was dust everywhere. I mean, however much they clean, they can't get away from the dust, and I think she just got a bit stressed out with it all. So I think she came to ours and just kind of went, at last, Christmas can begin. And it was lovely. She bought a few little bits for us to, because Alyssa does enjoy her little crafting with Nana sessions, and of course Nana enjoys them even more than she does. And so she comes up to me and she says, "Can we do some crafting, Nana?" And I go, "Yeah, of course we can." And Jenny brought a few little Christmassy bits to do. We made some paper chains and we made some little decorations. I mean, we'd not spent ages and ages over it, but it was just nice to have that bit of time. And she seems to enjoy it too. So, and she loves coming up into my craft room and having a poke around in all my little drawers and see what she can find to make things with. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a bit of tissue because I've got glue overload. Yeah, so she comes up and she has a little poke around and sees what can she loves getting the punches out, and she gets out the stamps, and so yeah, we did that a few times over Christmas. A little session in here. What she does, I've got a little stool in my room, and she kept some plonks it in front of my desk, and that's her spot. And then she goes and finds what she wants to play with, and then we spend a little bit of time doing that. I mean, she's only 3.5, so we don't spend hours on it. But we've done it. I think we came up here 2 or 3 times over the period, and it was just really nice to have that little bit of time together. And yeah, so that was nice. So we made some paper chains on the Thursday, and then Grandad had to try and hang them up somewhere that she approved of, and she was very particular where they had to go. She's so bossy. She knew exactly where she wanted them to go, and that's where she insisted upon. Right, so I back this now. It's a bit, need to smooth it out a bit, I think. And if I've got my little roller. Not that it's going to show too much because I've got a couple of photos I want to put on here. There we are. Right. Okay, the other thing I want to do is round the corners, of course, as usual. I would have liked to sew round it as well, but there just isn't time, so I shall let it go. And I'm not going to sing the song. Yep, and so that was just Thursday, and then Christmas Eve, Jenny went and collected Gary, because he didn't come with them on the Thursday, partly because he was working and it was easier for him to work at home, but also because he was just getting over a bit of a cold, and he wasn't feeling too great, and he just didn't want to bring it and spread it around with us, which we appreciated, of course. Don't think this is going. That's better. It's just not quite. There's a bit of white showing, so I just want to That's not gone quite right either. Yeah, so Jenny went and picked him up and left Alyssa with us. And that was quite fun. She wanted to play in her room. And I said, do you want me to get out my buttons? Do you want to play with the buttons? I thought she might like to play with them. And she said, oh yes, she'd like to play with those. So we got the buttons out, and we were just playing in her room, and had a couple of little containers, and she was just happily moving just taking handfuls of buttons and moving them from one container to another, and seemed quite happy doing that. So I thought, oh, she's playing nicely. I'll go and grab my phone and take a little picture. So I had to pop downstairs to do that, thinking, oh, well, she'd just carry on with what she's doing. Well, that was a mistake. I came back up to find her standing in the middle of her room, and it's only a little room, it's like a little box room, but she was standing on the floor and just flinging buttons far and wide everywhere. She was just surrounded, the floor was covered. There were buttons flying everywhere. It was hilarious. Well, so much for playing quietly by herself. So then we had to be quite firm with her about stopping that and picking them all up again and putting them back in the box. So yeah, lesson learned. Never leave her on her own with a box of buttons. But it was funny. And she had a lovely time. I have got pictures of that. That will go in my journal. But it's obviously that was on Christmas Eve, so I am nowhere near Christmas Eve yet. So you may not see that until next year. Probably what I'll end up having to do, because by the time I finish this journal, it'll be probably, I don't know, February. So I'll do a bit of a flip through at the beginning of next year's Christmas season, when I start the new. Seems a long way off. When I start the new Christmas journal, or whatever it is I end up doing next year. Oh gosh, not next year, this year. Later this year. So I'll probably do a little flip through then. And see how it ended up. If it ever gets finished, that is. I'm hoping it will. Right, so there we are. So that's my little journal card. Well, not journal card. Well, it's a journal card, but it's not going to be journaled on. I'm going to put pictures on it. Where are the ones I were going to put on here? They've disappeared. Oh, there they are. So I had on the other card I had parents, and then of course we've got Jenny and Gary, and then there's a nice little picture of Alyssa with Grandad, because they were sitting together. I don't know which one to use. I've got that one and I've got a smaller one. Maybe I'll put the smaller one on. So I'm just going to. I didn't do it on the others, did I? I was going to round the corners. I do want to round the corners though on here, so I'll just quickly do that. Yeah, she was so good at this meal. She actually tucked into her little children's meal. Because normally she's not that good at eating her food. But when we go out, she's very good. If we go into the pub or something, she will just sit and join in, and she doesn't want to go running around or anything. She's very good like that. Because that's what she does at home. She hardly sits still when she's at home, but when we go out, she's very good. And that's what you want, isn't it, really? You can put up with them playing up a bit when they're at home if you know that they'll behave when they go out. Right, just get my little box to put my bits in. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this box. I've had it for ages. It's just an empty mushroom box, but it serves quite well as a little desktop rubbish bin. Right, I'm just going to put some tape. So you will see me mention this in another one of the, because start from the beginning. I have filmed one video since Christmas, working in the altered book, the winter section, because I want to get that done. That's been a bit of a priority to get that finished. And I have, so I've done one video, I've got one more to do, because I don't want to leave that project just hanging, so I really want to get that finished, which is one reason why I haven't been able to get on with much of this. And so I've done one video, and in that I did mention, so you'll see that in about 2 weeks' time, that when Hannah and George were here, because what happened was they joined us on Boxing Day, which is the 26th, and Hannah and George came, the others were still here, So I had the house full. I had all my family here for one night, which was absolutely lovely. So nice to have them all here together, and I think the girls enjoyed just having a little bit of Christmas time together. I think that's the one thing that they're a bit sad about, is that they don't really get to spend Christmas together anymore, because if one's here, then the other one goes to their in-laws. Anyway, that's by the by. While Hannah and George they then stayed with us for a couple of days while Jenny went to her in-laws, and they spent a bit of time. I was talking to them about, doing the editing and things, and there's some things that I'd not really wasn't able to do, or hadn't figured out how to do, which are things like speeding up bits of video or cutting out bits. I'm quite good at chopping and joining bits of videos, so that if I stop and start, I can edit that way. But when it comes to taking bits out of the middle of the videos, that perhaps excess to requirements, when I'm sort of doing this kind of thing, and I might want to either chop it out or speed it up or something like that, I haven't been able to do that. So they sat there and did a bit of research on YouTube. They're very good like that, and then taught me how to do those things on my editing software that I've had since about September. They spent about 5-10 minutes and they figured it all out. I mean, that's what they do. They're so good at working these things out, and I hadn't done it. They just got it so quickly, both of them. So I think George found the things, and they both sat and watched it, and then Hannah sat with me and said, right, this is what you do and this is how you do it. And so now you'll find that things might get magically speeded up, or might be bits cut out that you don't need to see, and you might not have to watch so much, or I might not have to keep turning off my camera to do gluing and inking, because they'll just either be cut or they'll be speeded up. So there might be a bit more fancy editing going on, not too much, because otherwise you spend more time editing than actually filming, I have found in the past. But where it seems necessary, and a video's gone on a bit too long, I should be able to shorten it a bit. Right, so that's those pictures. I might do a little bit of... Oh, I know what I was going to do. Oh, blast, I forgot that. So there was another picture I was going to put on and I forgot about it, but I might be able to put that in somewhere else. Never mind. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in. I'm not very good at talking and crafting at the same time, because it requires your brain to think in two different ways, doesn't it? Right, I'm just going to pop that in there and move on. Although I'm moving on to another bit of the same day, because when we all, after we'd gone home, we all went back to their house after their meal, and I say we all, we did, and the other parents. So the four of us went back to spend a bit of time with them at their house. By the time we got home, and it takes about 40 minutes to get back to ours from Hannah's house, they decorated their tree. They'd put it up and decorated it in that, and by the time we got home they were sending us pictures of the tree, which I thought was pretty impressive going, because it takes me a whole weekend to decorate our house, and they did it in about half an hour. Right, so I've got these pictures to go on. I'm going to have to put some tape on them, but I will speed through that. So if I don't know if I can do that there. This was the one I was going to put on the other page, but I can put it on here. I think I need to cut it down a bit more. But this was an arrangement that Carol, George's mum, made for it. She made us all one. They're really beautiful. It's all with fresh leaves and pine cones and bits of cinnamon stick and all sorts of gorgeous things. And a candle in the middle, and it's a beautiful table arrangement. It's all fresh. Well, there's a few dried things in there, I suppose, but it's mostly fresh because she does gardening and gardening design, and she's really good. And she made us all one of these, which I thought was beautiful. And then there was this little ornament that I think my sister-in-law sent them in Australia, the mother of my niece. And it just says our first Christmas engaged 2021, so it'll be their only Christmas engaged, so that will be a unique little piece that's on their tree. So I think I might put that there, and then see where else I can put. I wonder if I can put this somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. I might be able to squeeze that in somewhere. Right, I think this needs cutting down a bit more. So I'll do that. I'll cut it down and I'll put tape on the backs of all the photos. So I'll either cut that chunk out or speed it up, depending on how the video goes generally. If I need to cut it out completely to give myself a bit more time, then that's what I will do. So I'll be back when those are done. Okay, so I've trimmed these and covered them with tape. I just thought I'd come back on and get them stuck down, and I have found a home for the picture that was a bit was meant to go on the previous page, and I'm going to just give that its own little spot, which I'll show you that in a moment. These are supposed to just peel off really easily, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Right, so I'm just going to put this one down here so they can just slightly overlap. And I've rounded the corners of the big ones, but not the small one, or the small ones. I don't know why, I just thought the big ones could be rounded and just make them look different. The small ones don't need to be. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And then this is one of their special decoration. Always remind them of the year they got engaged. These bits. And then I do want to, I've been using these numbers by Rach and Bella Crafts. That was from one of their Christmas kit that they did. I've got them on one now. And they did it in 2 sizes. So I've got the smaller one here, and I thought, well, I'd just add that one as well for this, because to show we're on the same day. And I'll just use the matching number just in the smaller size. So we're still on the 11th of December, we haven't got very far. But I think a lot of things happened at the weekends leading up to Christmas, but not much in between. So I might just pop that there, there, maybe there. Okay, now I think I'll use this just to make sure it sticks onto the photographs, because they've got the shiny surface. So I'm going to quickly write. So I'm not going to put the other picture down here because it just looked a bit too much, but I thought I'll use this little space to do my bit of journaling. I'm wondering if I've got a little Christmas tree I could put it down here. I've got some punched Christmas trees in a little. I'm trying to think. I don't think I got them in. Put them in my ephemera holder in the end. I think they're in here somewhere. Got some flowers. I might take those out. I'm going to put a little bit of decoration on these pages. I don't want it to be super plain. It's just finding. I just want to get it. Get as much on as I can, but I don't want to completely neglect the decorating. I've still got a gazillion, oh, nothing in that one, gazillion bags of bits, haven't I? But I have managed to get quite a lot in my ephemera holder. And of course the one little bag that I actually want, I can't find. Right, I found my little bag. They were right at the front and I just couldn't see them, but I got them now. These are just punched out with my little Christmas tree punch, and I like dotting them about. I do really like them. They're just punched out of some Christmassy scrapbooking paper. So, I like that one. What about that one there? And the glittery one. Just pop there. They look nice, don't they? Oh, I like this one too. Quite like that. No, I like those two together. Okay, let's put them back in the little bag. These tiny, they're good, these little bags, but they can easily disappear. I mean, I suppose I could put one of these, the whole bag, into one of my pockets in my ephemera holder. But it is a bit full already. Maybe it would have been easier to find if I had. Right, just going to keep those handy now. Right, so I'll just pop these two on. Glue. And then we'll move on to the next bit. Yeah, so I think I pretty much told you all about our Christmas. I mean, it did. So we started on Thursday, and then Hannah and George eventually they went home on Tuesday. So it was quite sad when the last members of the family leave, because it's like, oh, Christmas is over now, and it's been so much anticipated and looked forward to. But we have to move on. And what's nice, the girls, because they don't get to spend Christmas together these days, most years now they spend New Year together, so they all get together. I think it's probably the third year in a row that they've got together with, Jenny and Gary and Hannah and George have got together for New Year's Eve. So that's nice, they have that special time together. Right, so what I was going to put on here, this is this beautiful arrangement I was telling you about, that Carol made for us. So I thought I'd put that here. I backed it on a piece of nice cardstock, and I'm just going to pop a little tag just to say where it's come from. And actually it looks quite nice next to Santa there, doesn't it? The little tag that there. So I'm just going to cut a piece of baker's twine so I can put that on. This is just a tag I've had in my stash for goodness knows how long. Finally I found a home for it. From one of those die cut packs that we used to get when I used to do a lot of scrapbooking. And this is, in a way, this is an awful lot like scrapbooking, just in a different format. That's how I choose to use my journals, or those that I do use, is just to mainly fill them with photographs and memories in that way, with a minimal amount of journaling, really. So I'm just going to make this into a little pocket, because to me memory keeping isn't just about writing. It's more visual from my point of view, and also because writing for me is not something I enjoy doing too much of. Physically, writing, it's not the most comfortable thing to do when you've got issues with your shoulders and things. So I'm just going to put that there. Hope that shows up okay. Covers all the busyness behind there with all the toys and things. And then I'm just going to pop that in there, and I'll write on it afterwards when that's all dry. And that's that done. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was thinking of putting a ruffle down the side here just to add a little bit of decoration. This is a fairly undecorated page. I have a few here. Don't know if I've got any that will work. want something a bit more red. This is very red and white. I can cut this down a bit. Not sure about that one. Or I've got some page tabs. I do have this one, which I quite like. Yeah, I think perhaps I'll put that there. Oops. Made the Fabri-Tac a bit out of my reach, but it was not too bad. Now just put the glue on the right way. That's it. Just going to grab a needle. And whack the needle because it's picked up a whole load of glue. There we are. Hopefully it'll come out now. Hang on, am I doing this the right way around? No, I am. Oh good, I did it upside down. I don't know, I always lose faith that I've got in what I'm doing sometimes. I forget which way up I've got things and I'm doing it on the right side. So in case I haven't, I don't think I said, as far as I'm aware, the surgery is still going ahead this coming Thursday, which is why I'm getting a little bit anxious that I'm not going to get everything done that I want to get done, because we've been, for the past week really, or since the family went home, we've been on clean-up duties really, because we had quite a few people staying here on different occasions, on different nights. So we've had loads of bedding and towels to wash, and we're almost there. I think we've got one more towel load to do, and there's always a lot of cleaning up to do after Christmas. It's just the way, it's part and parcel of having a bit, people staying, isn't it? That's the pleasure of having them stay, means you do actually have to do quite a lot of work afterwards to get the house back to normal. And we spent this weekend, we usually do this at New Year anyway, it's not especially early for us, we've spent it taking down the decorations. This morning I took all the decorations off the tree before I came in here. It's always that's kind of like the final thing, isn't it, when you take your tree down. I know a lot of people wait until the 6th of January, but we tend to do it over New Year because, well, Richard goes back to work as soon as New Year's over, and we don't really want it hanging around for days and days. When Christmas is over, it's over, and just want to get the house back to normal really, especially now with me going into hospital in a few days. Right, yeah, I'm happy with that. I like that on there. Just cheers that up a bit. Okay. Right, so on. So that was the 11th, which was the Saturday. So then the next 2 days, really, the 12th and 13th, were the days that Richard and I put up our tree. So where's my photos? They're here. They were here. And the photos are here. So we've got. It's always my job nowadays. Now the girls don't live with us anymore. It used to be their job, but now it's my job to decorate the tree. And it's one I obviously enjoy a lot. It's not themed. We don't do colour schemes or anything like that. I just throw everything on it. A lot of decorations that we've got these days are really getting quite old. I lived in Germany for a year towards the end of the 70s, as I probably have mentioned, as part of my degree, and picked up quite a few Christmassy decorations when I was there, which I still have. They're quite precious to me now because they're like 40 years old, some of them. So what I did was I put anything that was a bit precious or breakable or you know, that was old near the top half of the tree, and then around the sort of the bottom area, the area that Alyssa would be able to reach, I put things that we were happy for her to touch. I don't want to make it so that she, you know, going, oh, don't touch all the time. I wanted her to enjoy the tree. And I also did her a little tree in the fireplace that was specially for her, with all things on that she could touch, including her favourite things, which are the chocolate decorations. That was very popular, especially first thing in the morning when she came down, and Mummy was still in bed, and we'd get, "Can I have a chocolate off the tree?" And so, of course, Nana being Nana, you don't say no, do you? We're allowed. It's Christmas. She was allowed. She could have them, and she didn't overdo it. There was still a few left when she went home. Right, I need to back this. It's a bit boring, and it looks like it's been a bit water damaged as well in that corner, which is a bit of a shame. So I'll have to find something to cover that with. But I need to back this onto something. I need to find some paper. Let's see if I've got anything in Rachel's kit that I can use. A couple of pages. And lots of bits. Oh, it's a bit of writing paper there. I have to keep that handy. What can I use? I like this. Maybe I can pack it on. Oh, I've got another page here. Oh, excuse me. If I were to put that there. I don't want it to over dominate. The all background. Maybe that would be better. It's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit more neutral, isn't it? Oh, just one moment. It's okay. Just a sec. Right, sorry for that little interruption. Richard was just letting me know he was going to pop out and get us some lunch. And while I was off camera, so I just turned off the camera quickly to speak to him. And while I was off camera, I made a few more plans about what I was going to do with this page. I think I just needed to think about how I was going to fill it and what I was going to use and stuff. So I've done a little bit of preparation as well. One of the things I wanted to think about was how I was going to cover up this corner here. I must have actually got a piece of the baby wipe or something must have touched it, and it's just made this corner go a bit weird. And I know some people would quite like that, but I don't. So I'm going to take a piece of this paper and just pop it in the corner behind there, and I think that will look fine because I'm going to use that to back my photograph as well, so I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to start by doing that, I think. Just get that little quick job done, because he's now back from the shops and has put lunch in the oven, so I'm on a bit of a I'm on the clock a little bit just to try and get this finished today. I know I haven't made an awful lot of progress as far as the number of days I've covered, but actually it was a really busy weekend, so we did pack a lot in that weekend. And then nothing will happen till the following weekend, so then we'll jump straight to the 18th of December for the next bit. But I don't think I'll get that done in this video, I'm afraid, which is a bit of a shame, because I'd like to have done that. But yeah, I knew I wouldn't get awfully far in this video because there were quite a lot of photographs to fit in. And I'm not going to just plonk I can't just plonk photographs on a page and move on. I just can't do it. I have to do it, make it look how I want it to look, and put a bit of decoration on, and if I'm not happy with it, I just keep finding other, doing other things until I am. There are times, like with the previous page, I managed to just stick the pictures on and was happy with that. But for this page, I just felt I wanted to do something a little bit more, especially as this is so plain. Need to add a little bit of something behind it, but hopefully without adding too much in the way of bulk, I hope. So, and I do love these papers by Roxy Creations. Make a nice background on this page. Right, so I'm just going to pop that there. I've got a piece of something to rub it on. Okay, now what I also want to do is put this photograph, put another backing. I just thought it was a bit too blendy there, so I've put another piece of this red and gold paper, which I'm really loving in this journal. I've had this paper for absolutely years and years and years, and finally I'm getting around to using it. I found a use for it. It's funny, isn't it? Something will stay in your stash for so long, and now I'm worried I'm not gonna have enough. I've only got a little bit left because I used it quite a bit in this for making ephemera and bits and pieces in this year, which is nice. It's nice to use something you've had a long while, and finally you think, oh, I can use that now. Now that's slightly. That's it. I think that's fairly centralised. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this up because I want a photograph I want to pop behind it, which I will do in a moment, but I'm just going to get some washi tape. I think that one will go quite nicely. I'm going to try not to overthink this. Doing this now, I've planned it. I should be able to just get it done. I need to put some glue on the washi though. Ooh, the glue's nearly in at the end. I think I've got another one. Yes, I can see I've got another one on my desk, so I've got a new one when this runs out. Right, got that there. Let's move it over just a touch. And stick that there. I hope I haven't made it too low, actually. I might just move that up. Move it up a fraction. Just realised I wanted to put something down here, so moving it up a bit. There we are. Hopefully that's going to stick. Better put another piece on the other side, I think. And then I could journal on the back of here if I need to. I don't know if I will. It's fairly self-explanatory, isn't it? I've got another little photo to go on here, so maybe I'll have to explain why that's there. Okay, got enough glue I think on there. Hopefully that'll hold it. Right, so one thing I would like to do is put a little something down here to cover the back of this. I don't think it looks too smart, but also I just felt a bit more decoration. And is this going to be too wide? That is the question. It's a little bit on the wide side. I might have to trim it a bit. So that end, maybe that bit. I don't know why, but I quite like that bit. Okay. Right. I'm just going to snip that across here. Because I want to put a little tab on here as well. Oh, I wonder. I could use, I've got some little tabs somewhere. Not on here. I'll put that there. And I wasn't really thinking about tabs. I'll have to come back to that because I haven't really thought about that. I've got too many other things I need to do. Right, so I'm going to put that on there when I've sorted out a tab for here. There's going to be a picture on here, which is going to be this little one. It's our little nativity scene, and usually I put that in the cupboard. It's got a cupboard with a glass window, and I think it looks quite nice in there. But this year I put it on a little table. I didn't really have anywhere else to put it before, but we've inherited a little table from my mother-in-law, and it's the perfect size just to put the little nativity on it. Just get the backing of this off. And I thought Alyssa would really like it. It's all about Alyssa, isn't it, this year? It's all been about what she would like to see, and I'm hoping that will... And actually, it was just at her height, and she played with it over and over. This is an old nativity set I bought from Woolworths, and those of you in the UK, and maybe even if you're not in the UK, you'll have heard of Woolworths. It closed down years and years ago, but it was when we were growing up. It was the go-to place for all sorts of things. And I bought this set, as I say, years and years ago. Comes out every year. It's just still perfect. It's got nice little, quite solid little figures. I mean, it wasn't cheaply made. It wasn't an expensive set, but it doesn't feel cheap. It's quite heavy. The little manger is quite heavy, and the figures are all nicely well, I'd say carved, but they're nicely shaped, and they've got, they're really well done actually. And she had a lovely time just playing with these little figures in the manger. They came out, they went in, she moved them around. She had lots of fun with them, so it was a good thing to put it there. So I thought I'd just feature that one this year, because I think in other journals I featured different things that were on the tree. So I just thought I'd put our little manger there. Right, now I'm going to put that to one side for now. I'm going to do a label. So I've got these stickers that I want to try and use up. They're from old Hip Kip Club stickers. It's a Christmas one. And it says Christmas tree, but I don't like the colour of the Christmas. I'd like to just stick that there, and that's nice and simple, but it's not. I don't like the colour, but I do like the tree. So I'm going to use that. And then I'm just going to stamp the word Our Christmas and then put tree down here. So I've got my little stamps all ready, and luckily I have all the letters to do Christmas in one go, so I haven't got to try and join it or anything. I've just got to stamp and go. So that should hopefully be nice and quick. So I'm going to do it on this little strip. I'm going to get a scrap of paper to put behind it. What's that? Oh, that's not a scrap of paper. I suppose it won't matter if I work on the back of that, will it? So I'm going to do our Christmas tree. So I've got some red ink, just got self buried under here, and that's what I'm going to do. Just check how it's coming out. That's good. It's got a little bit of black on there from before, but I think it's okay. Our. Yep. And Christmas. glad this is all one word. I'm not very good at lining them up when I've got to do it into two. I'm going to split this, so I'm going to move it along a little bit. I hope this comes out okay. Yep, that's all right. And so trim that down a little bit. Just trim this off a little bit at the beginning. With light ink around the edges. What colour? I think I might just do it in good old vintage photo. As I've used the red ink for the word, for the letters. I thought about edging it in red, but I thought that might be a bit too much. Bit of overkill. Not that you can really ever overkill Christmas, can you? But I actually thought this would possibly show up a bit better in a contrasting colour. That's the theory. Right. So that's that. For those bits. I'm just going to put that there, that there, I think. I should use the new one out. Keep an eye on the time because I know lunch will be ready soon. He's doing sterling work down there, getting lunch ready. So yeah, so tomorrow, which is the Monday, I will be going for my PCR test, because you have to have a PCR test 3 days before surgery. And then from then on, we are both going to be in isolation. So no more shopping or visiting family or anything like that. We've got to just for 3 days, we've got to stay isolated, both of us, until I go in on Thursday. So, but we've got a big grocery shopping delivery coming on Wednesday, with hopefully enough supplies to keep us going for a bit through the first couple of weeks anyway of my convalescence. Okay, so our Christmas, and then tree. Where's it gone? Where's that plastic sheet? That's it. Sheet with the tree on. And I thought I'd put it on one of these lovely Rachel labels down here that I'm going to put down there. Just to, does it need it? That's the question. Could put tree just on there, or on here. I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure it needs the label, because I've got a nice piece of scripty paper behind there. I think I'm just going to stick that down with the help of a bit of extra glitter glue. I'm going to put this here. Yep. I was going to put I've got a nice little picture I'll show you, but I haven't got time to do that, to add it now, but I'll show you what I'm going to do on this page. I haven't quite got it straight in my head exactly how it's all going to go, but I can tell you what I got so far. Okay, so I've got to go on this side. It's going to be another flip out, and I have this picture. This is the little Christmas tree that I've decorated for Alyssa. You can't really see it that clearly because I wanted to show it in the fireplace so you can kind of get an idea of the size, which I'm going to put onto this piece of green card, and I might back it with something red just to make it pop a little bit more, and then that's going to flip out. I'm going to cut it down and decorate it a bit more as well, but then that will flip out. And then I have got this picture of her when she came on the 23rd. She was absolutely thrilled to bits with her little tree. She really liked it. So just grabbed a picture of her with it. She particularly, as I said, liked picking off the chocolate decorations off the tree, but she liked the idea of it being her tree and she liked touching it. And but she was quite funny. On Christmas Eve, we had to move the tree because I'd put it in the fireplace because I thought it looked really nice there. But she was worried that Father Christmas wouldn't be able to get down the chimney, which is fair enough. You've got to make room for Father Christmas. So we had to move the tree into the corner of the room so that there was no problem for Father Christmas coming down the chimney. And that was quite the right thing to do. I wish I hadn't even thought of that, but she certainly did. So she very much insisted that we move the tree. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put that, and I shall probably journal on the back of this card just to say about the tree and how much she loved it and things. So that's going to finish this off. This will be a bit more decorated, as I say. And so I'll do that off camera, and perhaps I'll come back and just show you the little flip out, because I can see that the video's gone on quite long. Even with editing, it's going to be a bit of a long one, but then they tend to be these days, all my videos. But that's all I'm going to manage today. So we did a fair bit. So we got this finished. And then we did also on the 11th, I haven't done my date page, so I've got to do that on here as well. I should do 12 and 13 somewhere. Not quite sure where I'll put them, but I'll do those as well. And then I'll just come back briefly and show this finished off. Okay, bye for now. Right, I'm back. It's the next morning, and I've allowed all this to dry overnight because I put glitter all around the backing piece that I wanted to put the photograph on. So as you can see, since yesterday, I've backed the photograph with some of that red and gold paper, glittered around it, did a little punch in these corners with my punch that I now can't see. So I'm just going to show you the punch. There it is. It's just got just a corner punch with these holly leaves. And then I've created a flip out with the washi tape and opened it up, written on here about how delighted she was with her little tree, especially with the chocolate ornaments on it. And there's a picture of her being her, doing her thing. I don't know, she's doing her special face to the camera or something that the photographer told her to do at school, but I think it's not quite worked in the same way. Anyway, and then I've just added a little label up here, one of the Roxy Creations labels saying Alyssa's tree. Just decorated it up a bit of ribbon, a little puffy sticker with a tree on it. Yeah, just made that little special space for her and her little tree. I've added the same piece of ribbon on this side for this one to be flipped out as well and written on the back of here. Added the dates that we were doing the decorations, the 12th and the 13th, so the 2 days we were spending putting up all the decorations, not just the tree. It didn't take us 2 days to do the tree, but it took 2 days to do everything, all the lights and everything else. What else have I finished? I've written on the back of this tag, just to say that it was a gift from Carol, this lovely little arrangement. I think that's it. And I think I did actually, and I've written on the back of, I think I did write on the back of this and added a tab, written on the back of here. And the other thing is, I think I forgot to show you at the beginning what I'd done off camera, because when the last thing I did on camera was this trip to Norwich. I did do this one, which was on the following Friday, on the 10th, when I made my first batch of mince pies. So I just did a page about that before I started the last video, or this video should I say, written about that on the back of here. So that was my first batch of mince pies. I subsequently did 2 more. And they're all just about gone now. We love our mince pies. Okay, so there we are. That's as far as I've managed to go. So this morning I have had my, I did go for my PCR test first thing this morning at the hospital. So that all went well. So now we're both in isolation for the next 3 days, well, till Thursday. This is now Monday morning. And I will be getting on with finishing up the altered book. And that'll be pretty much it. I don't know if I'll get any more work done in this book. I doubt it somehow. Got quite a lot still to do and other things. So yeah, it's all getting a bit real now. It's happening quite, 2-3 more days and it'll be happening. So I'm getting a bit nervous, as you can imagine. And I will miss you guys so much for the next few weeks. I'll be desperate to get back in my craft room. So I do hope, as I have mentioned before, I hope to do a little face-to-face if I can get it sorted out. So if there's anything you want me to talk about or ask me, please do put that in the comments below in any of the subsequent videos that are coming up, even if I don't remind you in the video. If you think of anything you want me to talk about in the face-to-face, there may not be anything. I might just come along and make it a very quick video. It's fine. It's entirely up to you whether you have anything you want to ask me about or want me to talk about. I will do that in that video, which will probably be done at about the end of January, beginning of February, depending on how things go and how I'm feeling. So there we are. That's my last one for before I disappear. That's kind of current. Everything else has been scheduled ahead, so we'll be a bit out of date by the time you see it. But this is actually happening. This one I'm recording just before I go into hospital. So thank you so much for joining me as always, and I'm looking forward to being back in my craft room in a few weeks' time. It may be just me, or I may have a little helper, not a very little helper, but I may be able to do something with Hannah. She has offered to be my hands, but whether we'll do that on camera or off, I'm not sure. So I might do a little bit of crafting with her off camera first. I think that would be sensible. So, see you again in a few weeks. Bye for now.